Somewhat hidden amid the urban chaos of Los Angeles is this. Silver Lake artist Eric Junker is behind these bold brushstrokes, reminding city dwellers of life outside concrete jungles.
Nature is generally a quiet spectacle with quiet revelations, but to make that happen in the city with all the distraction and the noise, just had to turn up the volume.
His work can instantly bring life to city landscapes with otherwise blank walls. Bright impressions of birds, flowers, and wide eyes to take it all in. But he doesn't just fill spaces, he energizes them.
One fortunate aspect of my character is that when I'm anxious, I work.
Recently, Junker has channeled his anxious energy to create art that calls for change. It became his way of processing feelings, a coping mechanism.
I've been politically active off and on in my adult life, but it was almost accidental with resist hate. It just started getting a momentum.
Junker's artwork soon resonated well beyond the sides of buildings, empty schoolyards, and alleyways, and into the hands of protesters following the 2016 election. Women and girls also held on tightly to this message during the 2017 Women's March. But these days, it doesn't take a special event to see Junker's work in the wild. Take, for instance, this LA resident who decided to post it 3 times outside their household in order to make sure the message was heard loud and clear. But when George Floyd was suffocated by police in Minnesota, Junker's artwork took on a new meaning. In a movement that has now swept the nation, he was flooded with requests to reprint this piece for the Black Lives Matter movement.
It's really like a call for advocacy, something that's action-oriented and forward-looking.
But like any artist, he's had his doubts. As a young man, the criticism of his work took its toll. After a decade of struggling, the then 35-year-old set his eyes on the more practical route. That's him on the left, then a button-up founder of a very successful advertising agency. But all that changed when the 2008 recession hit.
So we got hit pretty hard with that. I have a child and a mortgage, and suddenly I had to figure out how to make a living.
Junker used this time to redefine his career, becoming the artist he is today. His Remember Them in November campaign features George Floyd, Elijah McClain, and Breonna Taylor. He also dedicated a poster to the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg, encouraging people to remember these images when they voted in the recent election. Despite the campaign's popularity, Junker was scared about the impending result and unconvinced his art made any impact.
I think I was on a bit of a downward spiral, anticipating a Trump victory and wondering who I was doing this for and who it was resonating with.
That all changed on November 7th, the day Joe Biden addressed the nation as the president-elect. Junker took to the Silver Lake streets to celebrate the victory, but while he was there, he celebrated one of his own.
I got a lot of lovely comments from people that actually had resonated with them. I was really touched when the people were reaching out saying that it had made a difference.
It was there that Junker saw the best of human nature, people connecting with one another, spreading joy in its purest form. With 20 murals in Los Angeles and counting, it's clear Junker is leaving his mark on the world. For Annenberg Media, I'm Genevieve Glass.